Welcome to a brand new episode of Everything Under the Sun with your host Thorvi. You heard it right. Pooja is now Thorvi. I have adopted a new first name to help align my personality with my purpose as I continue bringing new and relevant content through this podcast as well as my blog. I am grateful for your continued support throughout this journey. Thank you very much. Coming to today's topic. Do you have the good girl or good boy syndrome? I am the victim of the good girl, good boy syndrome, and of late I have realized it is not to be taken lightly. We live in a narcissistic society where most people are self-appointed judges and take it upon themselves to dictate the rest. It is very subtle, and hence most of the time we let it slip by, telling ourselves it's not worth the fight. But we are left with a lingering anger for not having stood up for ourselves. It is not the matter of stroking the ego. This syndrome is when we have ignored our ego for far too long and squashed it, and at times unable to comprehend an insult until much, much later. It is far more common than we think, and as I realized today, when a few friends shared their experiences with me. Expressing our emotions is something we must encourage and strive towards. It is so important for mental health. People might say, what good does it do? Let it go. Or maybe at times that is also correct, but not always, isn't it? We brew those lost chances at good comebacks and it hurts us more than we can imagine. The boomers and early millennials understand this better. The Gen Z is oblivious because they can and they do speak their minds, sometimes more than they should. Let me elaborate. I am referring to conversations, feedbacks and comments passed out as veiled insults. It may be at a restaurant, a rude waiter, or at work, a colleague, a peer, a nosy neighbor, or a relative or even a friend. Especially when you have something important to share or say and the other person dismisses your opinion altogether and you just do not protest. We have been trained to be such good girls and boys that we subconsciously stop ourselves from expressing how we feel. I had a colleague once who was jealous that I received an award, and he walked up to me as I was exiting the stage, award in hand, and tried to intimidate me. He said I didn't deserve this award and he would ensure I will not get the next. This was cleverly masked with a grin and a happy tone of voice. To give you some more visuals, this guy is almost 6 feet and I am 5'3", and he was standing inches away from me, grinning and threatening at the same time. I was furious, but I did not react at that time. I watched him walk away smirking as if it was in slow-mo. I was seething with rage and I had a headache. I had worked my ass off on this project and deserved a lot more. I decided I would not let him get away with talking to me this way. When I confided in another senior, I realized that he wanted to politicize this issue for his own gain. That's when it struck me. It is my job to stand up for myself. I could have brushed it off externally and ignored it, but it was about my self-worth. I called him up afterwards and confronted him over the phone call. I used a calm and even tone of voice, and I was not looking to argue, but I needed an explanation for what he had said and why he thought that I did not deserve the award. Like any predictable bully, he tried convincing me that I was being oversensitive, that I should not let things bother me, and that it should not matter to me what he said. When I kept insisting, he tried another angle. He said women are always sensitive and he prefers talking to men because of this. I listened to him but blocked his every statement and refused to let go. Throughout this entire conversation, I did not raise my voice. I did not sound upset. I was very stern and I stuck to my point. Because he had no logical reason as to why I did not deserve this award, and I kept bringing him back to the subject. He kept deflecting it until he gave in. He realized that I was not going to let this go. That is when he accepted and apologized. I pointed out to him that I have the right to feel what I feel, and that if we are to work together, I need to know that I am respected. I clearly told him his intentions doesn't matter. He may have never intended to hurt me, but still, that does not change the fact of how I felt post that conversation. I was proud of myself that day for having the courage to confront and not fight or make it bitter, yet have the ability to not let a bully get away. Post that conversation, I noticed he actually started treating me better. Maybe he respected me a little bit more. Two lessons that I would like to share from this. Lesson number 1. Never let anyone tell you that you are being too sensitive or that you must not feel a certain way. Feelings are exactly that, and you have every right to feel a certain way. Lesson number 2. You need to teach people how to treat you. No one can read your mind, but everyone can read your actions and your energy. That day I stood up for myself. It may seem like a small thing to someone who does not have the good girl, good boy syndrome, but trust me, for most of us it takes courage. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you do not voice out what bothers you, people will continue to treat you the same way. You will be amazed at how insecure bullies are, and even voicing out your feelings once can help you have a better relationship with them. See, the point is not to antagonize people. We need to learn to work and live with everyone in harmony, yet not let ourselves be trampled on. Remember why you're voicing out. Not to belittle the other person. Actually, the other person has nothing to do with it. It is for your own sake, for your own self-worth and for your own self-respect. How the other takes it is not your concern as well. And most of the time, they do come around to respect you more. More common examples are in the service industry, be it hotels, spas, restaurants, malls, shops, anywhere. We have all heard the famous story when a store actually had refused to sell to Oprah, before she became the Oprah. So it is not just you and me. Famous people face it too. Maybe a waiter is rude, a salesman passes his unwanted remarks, a colleague talks over you in a meeting. It can be anything. It is not always in words though. Actions too at times are insulting and dismissive. Stand up for yourself. Be dignified about it. Do not yell or create a scene. The calmer you are, the more effective you can be in your communication. Especially when people pass comments on your weight. I mean, come on. People barely know you and they will look at you after some time and say, "Oh my God, you have put on so much weight." Just smile and say, "I am glad your eyesight is still good. Thank you for noticing that I have gained weight." And then just walk away or change the topic. Dismiss them. But do not let this hit your self-esteem. Remember, these are bullies. It can even be with close friends and family, where it is difficult to voice out. So ironic, isn't it? A family and close friends must be a safe space to share. But unfortunately, this sometimes becomes a space you are most judged. Your friends may keep teasing you over and over again, repeatedly, and dismiss your attempt to explain. They might call you sensitive and say things like, "Hey, friends are supposed to tease," and so on. It is true that friends have a right to pull your leg, but the moment it starts affecting your inner self, put your foot down. Keep repeating your point till they listen and are open to discussion. Even parents can be bullies without realizing. They always think of us as 5-year-olds and always define us the way they see us. You owe yourself to speak your mind. Be mindful that you're not insulting and hurting anyone in the process though. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, as you practice it, you will get a hang of it. I am still practicing and I still need time to think of smart comebacks, but I refuse to let things linger inside. It can be even more challenging if you grew up with a narcissistic parent or a sibling. You are so desensitized to insults, it takes some practice to even recognize them, let alone react. I am a fan of the English series Downton Abbey. It is set in the England in the 1920s. It's about an aristocratic family in a mansion with servants and all the dazzle. The character of the grandmother is amazing. She has the most awesome comeback lines ever. She is my aspiration for an alter ego. At times, I feel all spiritual about this, and say to myself, the world is an illusion, so what does it matter? And at times, I question if these insults and minor blows to my self-worth are worth, fighting for. And I do dwell on looking at the larger picture. Then I remind myself, if I had reached that spiritual high, I should not feel bad or get hurt at all. And until I'm a mere mortal. And mere mortals need to stand up for themselves, for their self-worth. It all boils down to empowerment, self-empowerment, feeling good that you stood up to a bully. And remember, they come in all shapes, sizes, and ages. You are worth fighting for. Your opinion matters and your feelings matter. And you are an important member of the society, and that means your voice matters. Pick your battles though. I will not recommend overplaying your card, but do voice out your feelings. The other person may or may not respond the way you want, but do speak up. Share your experience with others and you will be amazed at the support you receive. Life is too short to let anything simmer inside. Here is hoping we move towards an emotionally mature society. But until then, keep standing up for yourself. Stay safe, keep smiling. Signing off for now, your host Thorvi.